Welcome to Iconic Movie Reviews. My name is Shane, and today I'm going to be reviewing a very iconic movie, and that is Top Gun with Tom Cruise. So this movie came out in 1986 amidst mixed reviews from the critics. They did not like this movie out of the gate. Audiences ate this movie up. They had a budget of $15 million, and this movie grossed over $356 million. Take that to the bank. That was awesome. So this movie, I absolutely love it. I love all the characters in it. This movie stars, of course, Tom Cruise, Kelly McGillis, who is also in Witness, Val Kilmer, Michael Ironside, Anthony Edwards, who you might remember was in ER, Tom Skerritt, who plays Viper. Of course, Michael Ironside plays Jester. Those are the two basically trainers for this Top Gun school. So, of course, Meg Ryan is also in this movie, and she is the wife of Goose. So you might remember James Tolkien from Back to the Future. He's the principal in that movie, and he's actually the captain of the USS Enterprise, and he's the guy that actually releases Maverick and Goose to go to the Top Gun school. He gives them 5 weeks to go and have fun, basically, and that's what they do. They actually party, they have fun, all that kind of stuff, and it's basically like a huge frat house for pilots. And they're the best of the best. Their egos are like here, all this kind of stuff. But yeah, this is a fantastic movie. Tim Robbins, of course, as Merlin. You know him from Shawshank Redemption. Great character as well. He becomes Maverick's Rio later in the movie. Because I think at the beginning of the movie it was Cougar and Merlin. And Cougar actually goes a little bit crazy because at the beginning of the movie we see Cougar basically in a dogfight with a MiG, and the MiG basically has tone on Cougar, and Cougar just loses his mind because basically when you get tone on an F-14, it's basically over. It's done. Now the MiG didn't fire on him, but he couldn't shake him off as well. The MiG just ended up bugging out of there because Maverick was around. So that kind of put a little bit of a scare into Cougar's character, which sets us up later when Maverick kind of goes through the same kind of a thing. And this is a real issue out there because once you get scared in the air, it's very tough once you come down to get back into the air. And that's where this movie actually it actually tries to show you that if you lose your grip, you lose your nerve, it's very tough for you to get that back. And Cougar actually ends up turning in his wings, and because he does that, Stinger actually allows Maverick and Goose to go to the Top Gun school because Cougar was going to go and he was the top guy and he lost his nerve. Now Maverick and Goose are in, so that sets up the rest of the movie. And this movie is based on a real school I believe it's in San Diego, California. And so when there was an article about 3 years before this movie was made, it was called Top Guns. And Tony Scott read the article and went, man, I got to make this into a movie. So they had a screenplay written. They showed it to Paramount. Paramount said, no, we're not going to make this movie. We can't make anything like this with the Navy and all this kind of stuff. So they had to rewrite it another 6 times before it got the go-ahead. And one of the reasons why it got the go-ahead finally, I think, was because they actually spent time to make it as realistic on the lowest possible budget that they could. So once they approached Jerry Bruckheimer and said, you know what, we think we can make this movie for about $15 million, he said, go for it, let's make this movie. So if you don't know anything about Tony Scott, who's the director, he directed movies like Beverly Hills Cop 2, The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis, True Romance, Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman, Enemy of the State, also with Gene Hackman, Will Smith, Deja Vu, a movie I didn't see. Oh yes, I did. That's with Denzel Washington as well. And then also Unstoppable with Chris Pine and Denzel Washington. So Tony Scott is a fantastic director. He died, and I'm not going to go into how he died, just out of respect for him and his family, but he died in 2012. And yeah, it was a sad loss for the film industry as a whole. But yeah, Tony Scott is no longer with us. His brother still is around, Ridley Scott, who did Aliens and a million other movies. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about this movie. I'm going to try and make this review as quick as possible. I really liked any of the aerial combat shots. I liked it because it did feel like you were in the air as well, and there was a sense of realism that you don't know if any of these characters are going to die. So one of my favorite scenes, of course, is when they're in the competition. There's one scene where Iceman and his Rio Slider are basically right on top of, I think it was either Jester or it was Viper, and he had him dead to rights, and he just needed them to just turn into his gun a little bit more. So he kept saying, I need just another 30 seconds. And Maverick comes in behind as a wingman, and he's like, I can take the shot from here. And I'm just going to let you watch that scene, and then I'll come back to the rest of this review. I'm telling you, it's a very powerful scene. So watch this.
Okay, gentlemen, this is Hop 31. 2 weeks to graduation. Top Gun trophy still up for grabs, so every point counts.
You up for this one, Maverick?
Just a walk in the park, Kazansky.
Contact, multiple bogeys, 165. 2 miles. Looks like they're going away from us.
Oh, I see him. Tally ho, right 2 o'clock. I'm in.
I'm in.
Bitch cut me off. Come on, Jesus Christ. Ice, take the shot.
Come on, Ice, get the hell out of there. I can't get the angle. I'm too close for missiles. I'm switching to guns.
Ice, fire, or clear. Look at this. Jesus Christ. I can take a shot right here.
I need another 20 seconds, then I've got it.
I'm moving in. I've got the shot.
Come on, Mav, let's get in there.
Come on, Mav.
Maverick's getting impatient, Ice. Come on, take the shot. 10 more seconds, then I've got him. Come on, Ice, get the hell out of there. Let's do it, Mav.
Ice, come off high right. I'm in.
5 more seconds.
Come off high right, Ice. I'm in.
I'm off. Shit. Where did Joe wash?
Oh, shit.
It's not good. Shit, we got a flame out, Mav. Engine 1 is out. Engine 2 is out.
Goose, I'm losing control. I can't control it. It won't recover. Shit.
It's coming up, man. We're out of control. This is not good. This is not good.
Mayday, mayday. Mav's in trouble. He's in a flat spin. He's heading out to sea.
Altitude 8,000, 7,000. 6, we're at 6, man.
Take forward, Gooch. I can't reach the ejection handle. Gooch, you have to put this out. I can't reach the ejection handle. Eject. I'm trying. Eject. What's the canopy?
Wow, wasn't that a powerful scene? I'm telling you. When I saw that, I had tears in my eyes because I felt for the character. I didn't want him to die, even though I knew it was coming. It was still a powerful scene. And because he hit his head on the canopy, it actually cleared it, so Maverick was able to eject. And of course, they basically both land in the water, and it's a powerful, moving scene. And that sets up the final act because Maverick looks like he wants to quit and everything. He can't shake it off. He can't clear his head. He can't get the idea that he actually contributed to Goose dying. And they had a bit of a trial. Maverick was actually found not guilty for what had happened. There was no way for him to ever recover the plane, and it was just a mishap with the canopy and all that kind of stuff. So he had his wings back. He was able to fly again. And everybody else, including Iceman, all the other characters in the movie were doubtful that this guy could turn it around. And Viper kept saying to Jester, just get him in the air, keep him going, because we got to get him back up in the air, otherwise he'll never fly again. So lo and behold, he does go to the ceremony, the graduating ceremony, and it's interesting because he didn't win Top Gun. He didn't become the best. Iceman actually won it, and Slider. So that was kind of interesting. I forgot about that he actually didn't win, but he had enough points to graduate. And then they went back to the ship, back to the Enterprise with Stinger, who was the commanding officer there. And basically they had a distress call at the end of the movie for a ship that had wandered into enemy territory, and they wanted backup, so they sent 2 F-14 fighters just in case there's any MiGs, because there was rumor that MiGs are in the area. They're in Russian space, Russian territory, and so they sent those 2, and then Maverick and Merlin are on standby on the deck just in case they need help. So when Iceman and the other crew, the other plane, are arriving, they see a couple of MiGs on the radar, and then they quickly realize that it's not 2 MiGs, but it's actually 4 MiGs. And then they realize it's not 4 MiGs, it's actually 6 MiGs. 6 against 2. So, and then the second plane actually gets shot down. The guys actually are able to eject. So now it's 6 against 1. And we're wondering, is Maverick actually going to be able to handle helping Iceman out? Of course, Stinger gives permission for Maverick to launch. They take off to go into the dogfight, and I'm telling you, it's exciting. It's awesome. And Maverick's 180 miles away from the fight. So he says, we're going supersonic, and we're going to be there. I think he said something like 30 seconds. That gives you an idea of how fast these guys go. So they enter the dogfight, and it's a great scene. I'm telling you, this movie is unbelievable. It's awesome. Love this show. I can watch it again right now. So you can probably tell I'm passionate about this movie. I can't wait for Top Gun 2 to come out, which comes out in June of 2020. Yeah, that's quite a ways away. So yeah, I'm exhausted again. But this is a great movie. If you haven't seen this movie, man, you got to check this out. And the next movie I'm going to be reviewing is Creed, another fantastic movie. Oh, this movie I give, of course, a 10. It's iconic. I give it a 10. I would give it 11 if I could. It's a great show. But the next movie I'm going to review is Creed. So I hope you watch it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell. That way when I'm done the next movie review, you will be notified immediately. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. And hope to see you next time.